Hey, this is Matthew.
And this is Vinny, the wrestling figure historian.
Welcome back to Nerd News Today. And today is a special wrestling figure video, but not a review. We have a bunch of random figures here that just happen to be in our studio, but we're not reviewing them today.
Nope.
Because we're doing something else.
We're going to try to predict what we're going to see at San Diego Comic-Con.
That's right. So San Diego Comic-Con 2019 is very, very soon. We'd like to make some predictions here of what we're hoping to see. And this is not like, we're hoping to see in the far future, but what we expect to see based on the current timeline. Yeah.
So the last time that we saw a major reveal for Mattel's figures was at the WrestleMania 35 Access show. Now, things have changed within the landscape of wrestling, so we're thinking there's going to be some new stuff coming out at this San Diego Comic-Con.
And we're basing our predictions, what's happened basically, and what's been shown since that event. So that will include, I guess, WrestleMania 35, other events that have happened since that Mania, and things that happened a little bit before that timeline as well, since typically WrestleMania, they show figures that are about 3 to 4 months in advance.
Usually.
Or 3 to 4 months behind, rather.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of base our predictions on what was missed last time. And so we have 6 categories, what we're going to cover. I got my own little list here. Vinny's got it all up in there, so we're screwed.
Yeah, we are.
So our 6 categories are going to be Basic, Elite, NXT, Retro figures, 2-packs, which will be basics, but just 2-pack basics, and Ultimate figures. And we're going to throw in a bonus as well, because we didn't really include it as our normal thing, but we're going to just mention 1 or 2 RetroFest figures, probably.
Yeah.
That's just kind of fun to do. So let's start things off with our basic predictions of who we think we're going to see as basic figures shown at San Diego Comic-Con. So I'll start things off, because we saw Bobby Lashley at Access debut his figure, which was, I believe, an Elite figure. I think we're going to get a Bobby Lashley basic. That makes sense.
Definitely, because usually with a lot of newer guys, they come out with the elites first and then eventually feed into the basics. And actually, speaking of Lashley, if they're going to do a basic of Lashley, why not make it into a 2-pack with Lio Rush?
That's right, because Lio Rush hasn't had a figure yet. It'd be kind of funny for him to get a figure of him in his manager attire before his wrestling attire, but that's just the way things are.
That is because he's been more on main roster as a manager, not really as a wrestler, like on 205 Live.
And speaking of 205 Live, I think there's a few guys who we're going to get some figures of as well from there. I think we're going to get Grand Metalik, Lince Dorado, and I'm thinking Noam Dar will get figures as well.
Now, didn't Noam Dar get a Elite, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't think he got an Elite. I don't think he did. I know Grand Metalik has had a True Moves figure, but he hasn't had a normal figure yet, and Lince Dorado as well. So I could see that being final, I guess. So this way you get the whole Lucha House Party. I feel like that's just missing.
And actually, they haven't come out with the Kalisto in his current attire
There hasn't been a Kalisto in a while, so there could be a new Kalisto as well.
Yeah.
But I think more for debuts is what I'm kind of interested in. And I think that we're going to get a first ever Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado finally.
We'll see. They have been now a mainstay on the Raw roster as the Lucha House Party, so it could be time for that.
Yeah.
I would honestly say we are expecting also a Ricochet Elite to come out. And I have a feeling, especially now that he just won, spoiler alert, the U.S. Championship, they're probably going to be pushing him hard, so I wouldn't be shocked if we see a basic of him coming down the line.
I could see a basic Aleister Black as well, maybe even a 2-pack, getting ahead of ourselves, but good possibility those two will be in a 2-pack.
That I could see that, yes. I 100% agreed with that. Since we're on the topic of 2-packs...
We're going to be jumping around, I guess. So the basics essentially are what's in the 2-packs.
Yeah.
I guess this part's going to be jumping around a little bit.
I was thinking earlier that we're already seeing the power couple of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Unfortunately for me...
Your dreams are broken.
Yep.
Shattered dreams.
I basically became a Goldust production. But, with that said... I think we're going to see in the near future a Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins 2-pack.
I don't think we're going to see that at San Diego, though, just because that's kind of a very recent development. They could rush something out.
They could.
But I think they're going to hold off.
We'll see. It all depends. Look at what happened when Cena and Nikki Bella got married. And how long they waited on that, and now that basically killed an entire line.
I'll have to see about that one. So yeah, I actually had Ricochet on my basic list as well. Another basic pick I have... We've gotten a bunch of him, but I don't know if we've gotten one like him in this outfit lately, but Baron Corbin with his whole stupid shirt and slacks outfit. I think we're going to get a basic of that.
Yeah, that's got to happen.
Yeah.
And it would probably be better that it is a basic.
Yes, keep him far away from the elites.
But you know they're going to make him an elite. So
eventually he'll get the elite treatment like that. He's already had a few elites, but whatever. I think he'll get a basic this time around.
Stupid main event Corbin.
I think we're going to get a WrestleMania Ronda basic figure. She had one basic so far. I think it's time for another basic. And I don't think her outfits have really made a necessary choice to have a lead of her.
That makes a lot of sense as well. I would have to agree with that.
And so, I mean, we'll see like the WrestleMania makeup in that outfit, which wasn't too different anyway. But
no, it's
it'll
exactly. We haven't seen any figures at all with her in her makeup.
No, since she basically debuted that after her figures came out.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of her figures, we've had the Elite and the Ultimate Edition, and that first basic, which was just her like in her kind of debut outfit, with just a shirt and pants, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think we'll definitely get a makeup Ronda Rousey. Best way to put it.
And wrestling attire essentially.
Yes.
Too.
I'm also thinking, I think, now you mentioned normally they do elites first and they'll do the basics. I think we're going to get the opposite with this character. I think we're going to get a basic Lars Sullivan.
I could see that because his attire is relatively plain.
It's relatively plain. He really has no accessories you can give him. So we already kind of teased a little bit about what 2-packs we thought we might see, but let's just dive into 2-packs.
Straight on.
Straight on. So I've got my number one pick, Heavy Machinery.
As a 2-pack, yes.
I see them
usually
getting...
tag teams come out first as basics.
Yeah, I see them getting the 2-pack treatment first before anything else.
I could definitely see that. My honestly first pick, I would have to say it's going to be Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
As a 2-pack.
I had him on my list also. I feel like this is actually going to be a big year for Drew McIntyre toys.
Yes, because I think they only came out with the NXT one so far, the Elite, and with the way he's going, we're going to start seeing a lot more of him.
That's funny that we mentioned Drew, in fact, because I actually have Drew as well for potentially a pack with Roman.
As a rivalry, yes, I could see that again. Then again, they've come out with so many Romans.
So that won't stop him.
That is true, because he alters his attire almost every other month too. So
yeah.
They could do more with Roman.
They could do like that Make-A-Wish Cena and do something for like Roman with a cancer charity or something connected to it. But
in that case, yeah, I could definitely see that as well.
And since you mentioned Shane, I actually was also thinking a Shane and Miz 2-pack from the WrestleMania match. That'd be a really good thing to have. They come with like a chair or something.
Or a Shane and Miz with the tag team titles. Because
yeah.
they were tag team champions. So depending on where in the timeline they already started developing, we'll see. Wait a minute. Why not Miz and his dad?
Because I don't think they'll make a figure of his dad.
Why not at this?
I was thinking about that too.
That's going to be the far-fetched one, but why not?
I was thinking about they make a figure of his dad, but I don't know how well that's going to be like the Easter Bunny figure that came with Adam Rose. Like, I don't think they'd make Miz's dad. I think they've learned their lesson. I think that could be a San Diego exclusive 10 years from now.
That could be. Who knows?
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
because I know you were saying we're not going to do the far-fetched ones, but now that you brought it up, why not?
I was thinking his dad too. It would have been really a fun idea, but I just think like in terms of sellability, I don't think kids want to play with Mrs. Dad.
But then again, if they do that, they're not hitting the kids.
No,
they're hitting us, and we'll be crazy enough to actually buy it.
They made the Easter Bunny, make Mrs. Dad.
Why not?
Gee, that broke Vinny.
Keep going. This is actually good.
All right, so more realistic 2-pack. I think we're gonna get the new Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Yes, I could definitely see that.
And I don't necessarily think as champions with championship belts. I just think we will get them as a 2-pack.
Yes, definitely as a 2-pack. And plus, there's no need to give them the championship belts because it's the regular championship belt.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I'm thinking this will be casual attire, Daniel Bryan.
Casual attire, but now you're bringing me to something I'm thinking about when we have a discussion on it later.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking of probably.
Yeah.
And my other big prediction, because, you know, it's Bill McKenna and these are his boys, there's no way they're not going to have a Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins 2-pack with the tag team titles.
We're going to see that, yes.
That has to be made.
If they're going to give them the tag team titles, they're going to make them elites. I'm thinking of that now. I think they will.
Because Kurt just had an elite not that long ago. Zach had a little while ago. I don't think that they're going to get the elite treatment this time around. I think a 2-pack is more realistic. I could even see a Kurt Hawkins basic, to be honest, but I think they would sell better as 2-pack.
Did Kurt Hawkins even have a basic?
He's not had a basic yet, so I think, at least not in his current attire, he's not had a basic for a while, so I think that we could see him get a basic treatment with this 2-pack.
Listen. If we can go into the joke ones again, can we get a Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista 2-pack?
Yeah, that's actually a really brilliant idea.
That would actually be awesome. Now that Batista's basically done, why not celebrate the obscure moments of his career?
I'd like to see a Reverend Devon and Deacon Batista 2-pack because we never ever got a Reverend Devon figure at all.
Never.
And there's never a Deacon Batista either to go with that. So that would make perfect sense. I think that might be, again, another one of their far-fetched ideas. But that should be a reality.
That should be one. And you know what? Do it right. Give it the elite treatment.
You think so?
If you're going to do the 2-pack, do it right because there's so many accessories you could go with.
It wouldn't even be that hard to make them because they already have a lot of the bodies for that, really. So.
Exactly. It's a suited Batista with regular arms, a suited Devon. Just make sure he has the proper neck tie for the reverend part. And there you go. You got it. Maybe, you know what, it could be better off because it is in the suits. You're better off giving them the basic treatment.
Yeah.
But give them all the accessories, please. Give them that change box. Give them whatever.
That's really all I need. Just put the change box in there and it's done.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic of Batista and to go back to what could realistically happen, I could see a Triple H and Batista 2-pack from their WrestleMania match this year. So
It'd be easy to make. They've already made all those hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times. They have the bodies for them. That could be a quick one that could come out right away.
Yeah. I can easily see a Batista, and Triple H is just easy to go. They haven't done a basic Batista in a while, I feel like, either. So it's about
because
time.
most of the Batistas have been elites.
Yeah.
Again, so...
And even then, the last Batista there was I think, the Hall of Champions Batista.
Yes, and...
Which was a long time ago.
Which was a while back, and that was probably a hot seller. I think it was part of the first line.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah, so... Which actually, you've shown me that one. That was a pretty good Batista, so...
Yeah, totally worth it.
And those are two marketable guys.
So I would have said the Iconics, but I think they're already getting figures anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if not, I'll get a 2-pack, that's for sure. In terms of the women's division, who we might see maybe more 2-packs with, there's a lot you could see. I could easily see a Bayley and Sasha 2-pack with them as like the tag team champions.
But that all's going to depend on now what's going on with Sasha Banks.
Yeah, but in theory, they could still make that.
They could still make it.
That's my theory. If there was
my
one.
thinking, the easier one would probably be the Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax.
Yeah, that'd be an
as a
interesting
2-pack because they did team. And speaking of them, the one that I think might sell with collectors, Beth Phoenix and Natalya.
Yeah, I'd like to get that 2-pack too, because we have not had a Beth Phoenix figure in a long time.
And it is suitable.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned elites, shall we jump into them?
Yes.
All right, because I got a pretty big list. This is the easier one because there's a lot more that we want.
There's a lot more. This is now what we want. So.
Yeah. So I've got my number one is basically 2 figures that we have to get. I feel like there has to be Becky 2 belts. There has to be Kofi with the title.
There has to.
But so we're talking WrestleMania elites of them both when they won everything.
But if you're gonna do Kofi, somebody has to come before him.
Who's that?
Daniel Bryan.
He's on my list too. You have to have the Daniel Bryan with the hemp belt.
Yes, that has to be there.
Has to be the hemp belt.
It has to be the hemp belt, and that has to come out before Kofi Kingston. If they come out with Kofi Kingston first, I'll be pissed. Because that's basically saying we're not getting that Daniel Bryan.
I think we're going to get Daniel Bryan. I think there's no way they can't not make that belt. Because it's it's such a unique item. They have to make that as an accessory.
But now here's the issue. Yes, he lost it at WrestleMania, and by the time it comes out, people won't even know what the hell it is.
Well, you'd be surprised.
That's what I'm thinking. Us collectors, us wrestling fans, we're still going to get it because we know it.
Yeah.
But if they're going to market it to the kids... keep in mind, the kids have short attention spans, so I don't know.
I feel like, remember they made that Daniel Bryan in the Wyatt jumpsuit? He wore that for like all of a week.
That is a good point.
So I think
that's actually a really good point that you made. So
there's figures that had shorter runs of things that they've done stuff with. So the hemp belt will be made.
Okay.
I can easily see the hemp belt, and I could again easily see Becky in a WrestleMania outfit.
With the 2 belts, has to be.
She doesn't have a lot of other accessories because her entrance was so simple. So there's not going to be much else for it. That's why I think they will give her both belts in that figure.
We'll give her a head with the full hair frizz.
The frizzy hair.
Yes.
So it will be a new hair.
Because it was at 100% cane frizz at that point.
And she'd have a different hairstyle anyway to begin with. So we could get that, and therefore we'll get a new head with her too. And same thing with Kofi. He's got to have the belt.
He's got to have the belt with it.
And I guess entrance attire as well, and that'll be his elite.
Yeah.
Not much else will come with. Unless he comes with like a little accessory of his son. So you can put him on the turnbuckle and have him go, "Yay, Dad!"
Imagine if they actually...
If they're going to make Mrs. Dad, let's make Kofi's son.
You got a good point with that one.
So I also think from WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair.
In that attire,
yes. We haven't had a Charlotte in a while either. We've had basically a bunch of basics, and we've had, I think, one in a robe, right? In the blue robe.
There was only one in that blue robe. But then again, the attire that she had for WrestleMania, I feel like they've done that attire before somewhere else.
I mean, I think in general there's going to be some kind of new Charlotte Flair with a robe. We haven't had a robe Charlotte Flair since that blue one. That's old. Yeah. So we're long overdue for new Charlotte.
And now I think about it, I'm trying to think of that figure. She's worn that attire before, and I think that's the figure that we got already. So
similar colors at the very least. It wasn't the same outfit. It was a new outfit.
All right, then I'm going to have to look back at that figure.
I think we can both agree no matter what, there will be a new Charlotte and some kind of new robe. It has to be a new robe.
Actually, you know what? let's go back to basics. Since we're talking to women's, this just popped into my head. We need another Sensational Sherry.
You know, that's a good pick, actually. Yeah.
We need another one, but I wouldn't mind it being a basic. For the elites, they gave her the perfect attire from WrestleMania 6. So now any other Sherry could go back to being a basic.
I'll raise the stakes with that. What about a Sensational Sherry Build-A-Figure?
Yes.
They haven't ever done Build-A-Figure.
And I'm
for
already
women.
thinking the 4 figures, we're going to save that for the end.
All right, we'll
With
come back to that.
Build
I
a
guess.
Sherry.
I know what
you're
you
gonna
want.
you're going to bring up something, and you know what? I'm going to tie it all together. And
You
I
and
know
your-
you want to kill me for it.
You and your pipe dreams.
Yeah, shut up.
I do think there's going to be another female elite that they will debut. That's Lacey Evans. She's gotten such a big push. I think we're going to get a Lacey Evans elite. They're going to rush that one out.
That makes all the sense. And you know, it wouldn't even be rushed, to be honest, because she's been on TV for how long now?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so this one, I don't know if we're going to see it at San Diego, but I want to see it at San Diego. I don't think we'll see it proto. I think if we saw it, it would be like one of the 3D renderings. And again, this is really pushing it now, timeline-wise. R-Truth 24/7 title.
Yes.
We're really pushing it timeline-wise, but they have to make that.
It could happen because they've come out with an R-Truth figure. He really doesn't change his attire. They could just even re-release an R-Truth figure, but they have to come out with the 24/7 title.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like an R-Truth Carmella 2-pack either, to be honest.
Actually, I could see the 2-pack coming out first before the 24/7 title.
Yeah,
Because they've
that's a good
been
pick,
together for a while now.
Yeah, but I do say that we are going to get an R-Truth Elite at some point this year.
Yeah,
because he hasn't had an Elite in a while.
That's what I'm saying. He's due for. I was about to say he's due for one.
And he's been doing more lately. Last year, he has done a lot more on TV. He's gotten back on TV again in a big way.
Yes, ever since he won that U.S. title. Plus, his comedy stuff is gold, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's great. He's really.
I thought the 24/7 title was going to be dumb when I saw it, and then when I saw what R-Truth was doing, that was just great. Especially the last way he won the title.
He's elevated the belt.
Yeah, he has. On the main roster, I could see Drew McIntyre getting an elite.
Yeah, because like I said before, he's only had an NXT figure. That's why I could see a more easily accessible Drew McIntyre elite.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, because it was only a Target exclusive. So.
Yeah. So that's who we think is going to be on the main roster. But what about legends? And that's what we want to get our hands on because we love those legends.
That is true.
So I think my number one pick is Gangrel. It's out of left field, but I think Gangrel is coming this year finally.
Because then again, they did come out with the Brood 2-pack of the Hardy Boys. If that's the case, have they come out with a Brood Christian and Edge?
They have not.
If they're gonna do Gangrel,
Puffy shirt Christian.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got even an elite or a basic of that Christian. Edge, I think they might have, but I don't. It was a while back.
It was a basic. I think they did one.
Yeah, this might be a little long term because it all depends on what's going on with WWE's legal situations, and I don't want to get into it. One that I do want to see, Marty Jannetty.
That's an interesting one, yeah. It's about time.
We got the RetroFest Shawn Michaels. It was his rocker attire. You gotta give him a Marty Jannetty to go with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that figure makes no sense to be a single. Another one, and this is one that I think everybody wants. Rick Martel. Give us another Rick Martel. And actually, I should have mentioned this when we did the 2-packs. If we're going to go Legends 2-packs, give us a Strike Force.
Yeah, Strike Force. Good thinking, yeah.
Again, we haven't seen a Tito Santana since the Hall of Fame days. And I don't think Tito Santana was part of that lawsuit to begin with. So give us a Tito Santana. And you know what? Now I'm going to throw this out. Since I'm on a Tito Santana rant, give us El Matador. That is a figure I have honestly wanted to see for a while. I wanted an El Matador figure.
They didn't do it. I know they did the Matadores, so I guess they haven't
Los
done Los
Matadores.
Yeah, so they can easily reuse all that stuff.
They could reuse all that stuff and just, if they want to give Tito a different head sculpt, give him. Because actually that Tito Santana from the Hall of Fame was a pretty damn good Tito Santana.
I think all they would need to do is just change his hair.
Just give him the ponytail.
Yeah.
Give him the ponytail and that's it.
Yeah, it's basically a done figure already, so yeah, that's a good pick.
So,
Make a good elite.
That would definitely be a great elite. Because you give him his cape and his jacket.
Yeah, it's done.
So, yeah, definitely. El Matador is one legend I want to see. If it's possible, Powers of Pain.
Do you think? Okay.
We did get the Warlord figure.
Long time ago.
When he was a singles. And that was an awesome looking Warlord.
Great figure. If you missed out on it, I recommend finding it.
Yes. And is that actually still relatively cheap or did now
I
it's
don't
got
quite
to
know.
that point
I think
now?
you can still find it.
Yeah, so it all depends on. You have to check ringside. Check ringside. If it's on ringside, I assume it's relatively low priced. If it's not, then
Yeah.
good luck.
If it's on Amazon, we'll put a link here as well for it.
Yeah, but definitely the Warlord. If they want to do as a tag team, do the Powers of Pain. Him and Barbarian. Or just give us a Barbarian by himself when he was in the Heenan family. So I think those two would be great. And actually, I just thought of another idea.
Uh-oh.
Since we did get a Rikishi figure recently, why not a Fatu figure?
Do the right thing, Fatu, or what was it?
That actually, I was thinking more head shrinkers.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea than
I was
mine.
thinking actually head shrinkers because actually recently didn't WWE do a benefit for Samu?
I don't know. Did they?
I think so which I think they did because it was Samu's son was the one who wrestled Shane McMahon.
Ah, okay.
So I think there is something going. If they are doing something with Samu, why not? Let's do the head shrinkers.
Yeah, Rikishi was a little while ago, so they can make a new one by now.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, definitely. The head shrinkers were a pretty popular tag team
Yeah.
in the early 90s.
You can basically start finishing out the Samoan family at this point.
I think they're the only two major ones left, so why not? We did get the Wild Samoans,
Yeah.
so go on.
So we can't talk about Elites without going into the RetroFest line, because it's basically an offshoot of the Elites anyway. So we know what's coming up next, which is going to be the Mr. Perfect that you've been wanting for ages. In that
Yes.
black outfit with the stars in the back.
Yes,
And we're getting
and
the
that
Iron
basically
Sheik.
completes the Survivor Series 92.
Yeah.
Which
So you're very
don't
happy.
mean yeah, but also it's also bringing bitter memories of looking at the Ultimate Maniacs.
It's okay. Let's not talk about those terrible figures, but...
We're eventually we're gonna get to it eventually.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So I got 2 predictions for RetroFest. I'm thinking a big boss man. So we haven't had a
Yes.
boss man in a long time. The last one
Actually,
the
that
network.
was one figure I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna do a big boss man, do him in his blue shirt, but actually with him fit. The one boss man that we did get, which was a re-release when I did the network spotlight for Toys R Us.
Yeah, which I got that one. It was like slightly different from the previous
A
release.
little different.
Very
but
small.
That was Tubby Boss Man, as I like to call him.
Yeah.
Then out of nowhere in 1990, he actually slimmed down and
Yeah.
looked awesome.
That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a new version of Boss Man with handcuffs, nightstick. I mean, they have to do something different with it. I don't know what that could be, accessory-wise, to make it really be part of the RetroFest line.
That's the
But
only that's the only problem.
I think just making it new sculpt and that.
But then
yeah.
again, look at what they did with Ric Flair. All they gave him was his robe.
That's true. So
And
he can still fit in.
And the
just
same
fine.
thing, Mr. Perfect. What did they do? They just gave him his Intercontinental title belt and a towel, which
Yeah.
came with the original Mr. Perfect. So
That's probably what they're gonna do with the new Perfect as well. Probably not gonna be much else in it.
that's what it is.
I could also see. You mentioned Rick Rude before. I could see Rick Rude easily being part of the RetroFest line.
Yes.
Now, granted, we already have, you can see here, the 2 matching attires, but
From when they did the flashbacks.
yeah, but I still think there's more that they could do with Rick Rude potentially in that line. He would be a good
Yes.
fit for RetroFest.
Yes. Maybe we get the SummerSlam 89 Rick Rude when he lost the title to Ultimate Warrior. Or why not WrestleMania 5 Rick Rude that had the Intercontinental title airbrushed on the tights.
Yeah, that could be good too.
So
Some options.
There are some options. The only other attire I could think that they came out with was a crappy WrestleMania 4. Wait a minute. Let's go back to we're doing Rude for the RetroFest, right?
Yeah.
You think that maybe they might do the double tights and have one pair with doesn't have to necessarily be Cheryl Roberts' face on it. It could be a generic woman's face on it.
So you think removable tights?
Yes.
Interesting. Because they are doing removable tights with that Ciampa figure.
Yeah,
that was revealed, so-
exactly. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe do for Rick Rude, and it makes sense to do it. Perfect. I just came up with the perfect RetroFest figure. Do SummerSlam '89 because that one had Junkyard Dog's face on his tights,
JYD, yeah.
and they are coming out with a retro JYD.
That's already out, in fact, right now.
That's just came out exactly. So they have the rights to JYD. Why not?
Good call.
You know what? Since we're doing that Rick Rude, if say we do that, why not give us another Jake Roberts?
Yeah, we haven't had a Jake Snake since the Hall of Fame, I believe, as well. I
The
think that
Hall
was the
of
last
Fame.
elite Jake
That,
Roberts.
Yes, that came with the 2 snakes, which I'm still
Yep.
trying to figure out why was it 2 snakes. If somebody knows the answer, please leave us a comment. I really, really am curious.
It's just so
about
we can
it.
get like the collection basically in one spot. 'Cause it's hard to get them all.
That is true.
So they kind of made it a little bit easier that way. It was good. It was a good way to do it, I think. Yeah, even if it's not the right tire for two snakes, because he never had two snakes at
We
once.
never had two snakes at
But at least
once.
we got the snakes. I think the difference maker with this Jake, I don't really know what kind of outfit they'll give him, but I could see this Jake coming with a snake bag for the first time ever.
Yes.
So he's never had that accessory. It was essentially teased at some point when the Hasbro's came out in an advertisement, but he never came with a snake bag, I don't believe, in any of their figures. I think maybe, did that Earthquake figure come with a snake bag?
That's
or no?
the funny part. The Earthquake figure did come with the
Yeah.
snake bag.
So they have a bag ready out there.
They have the bag, but they never gave it to Jake. And
Yeah.
Jake is actually for Jake.
So give him that. Give him like two snakes as well, because why not?
Why not?
Value. And I don't really care what outfit he has, to be honest. Any outfit's fine with me. I like all Jake figures.
If they do come out with an outfit, the one that I do want to see is the one from WrestleMania 7. No, forget that. Forget this. Give him the snake bag. Give him a blindfold too. The WrestleMania 7 match. The blindfold match.
That's perfect, yeah.
But make
Why
sure
not?
that there is mesh so you could see his hand.
That'd be good.
Which, okay, back to that match. Can we please have another Rick Martel?
You know what?
Again? Give us another Rick Martel.
That might be unrelated to San Diego, but yeah, we need more Rick Martel figures.
We need more Rick Martels. Because they came out with that awesome one in the very beginning.
Yeah.
There was so many good wrestlers they came out with that in the very beginning. If it's possible, please re-release them.
In some capacity, somehow.
In some capacity,
Yeah.
or even revive that line. Because I think now they're getting to, especially thanks to the WWE Network, and even younger fans are watching these older wrestlers. I think they could really market them well.
And in terms of Elite Legends also, I think the most obvious choice has to be an Elite Jeff Jarrett.
Yes, now that he's back with the company and everything, it's got to be Double J.
Yeah. I don't think they'll do Attitude Era Double J. I think we'll get like classic Jeff Jarrett.
No.
You think they'll go Attitude Era first?
They're gonna go Attitude Era, and then I'll bring up why. But tell me, why do you think we'll get classic Jeff Jarrett?
I just think it kind of fits more with how they're going to roll it out, I think. But then again, I think I see where you're going, so we'll come back to that point.
Yeah.
One of our favorite lines out there is the Retro line.
Yes.
We've been buying a lot of those. We've been reviewing them a lot on this channel, in fact. So I've got my number one pick for that, who we talked about earlier, Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
So now I can see why you're thinking Attitude Era for Elite and classic Jeff Jarrett for the Retro line. That would make a lot of sense.
Because as revealed by Zack Ryder, we were supposed to get a Jeff Jarrett Hasbro with the very last line. And if we're going to go that route, I'll let you have Jeff Jarrett. We need to have a Mabel in that case.
I was thinking Mabel, but I don't know. I mean, that would require a really big new mold. And I don't know if they're ready to do. Cause I was thinking that's one thing that's missing from the Retro line is like big characters.
Yeah.
Even with their Kevin Owens and the Samoa Joe, they're reusing the same body and they're kind of small. So a character like Mabel needs a whole new body type. I wonder if they're ready to pull it off. And if that's the case, this is actually one of my other picks, Andre the Giant. Why has there not been a retro figure of Andre the Giant yet?
I did not think of that, and you make an amazing point. There has to be an Andre the Giant. Because at this point, with the regular figures, they've done all the Andres you could do.
Yeah.
Basic, Elite, they're all done. There's no other Andre you could do. Bring them to the Retro line.
It'd be a perfect fit.
There you go.
And my other choice is from the modern roster. And we've said this guy a lot. I think this is going to be a big year of toys for him. Drew McIntyre. And I say that because he could easily just have the kick feature that's already been used with Sheamus.
Feature, yes.
He could have any type of figure he wants.
He could have the torso feature and use the headbutt too.
Exactly. There's a lot
The
he can do.
Glasgow Kiss. So they could play around with him.
There's a lot of easy options for Drew McIntyre. Considering that the Retro line, it's kind of a line that they don't really want to spend a lot on, but they like making them. I feel like Drew McIntyre is very easy and a really good fit for that line.
This was one I should have thought about with like the Legends. Lex Luger. Well,
I was thinking Luger too, actually, yeah.
Well, then again, we did just get the Luger from the flashback for the basics, but why not another Elite?
I could see an Elite, but I could also see the Retro USA Luger.
The Retro, yes, the USA Retro, because that was another one Hasbro was planning to make.
I could easily see a Luger being revealed.
And it's funny, the way that they did the Diesel that just came out was more akin to the way Hasbro was going to do that Diesel with the glasses and everything. So I could see if Hasbro's willing to do that. Why not? A made in the USA Luger.
Now, would you give Luger the Gorilla Press like you had in the original toy, or would you give him a forearm smash to use his metal forearm? That's how he beat Yokozuna.
Good point.
Or how he body slammed him. So,
but you are right. I don't want the Gorilla Press because then it's like you have the Hasbro figure.
You're just rehashing it.
Exactly. So give them a new feature. So I actually do think the clothesline feature would work. Unless maybe they come up with something like the Bushwhackers. That
Maybe, yeah.
bent arm. That could possibly be it.
I have one idea I can just toss you easily.
If you're going to say Razor Ramon, I don't want to see a Razor Ramon as a retro figure because I think the Hasbro figure was probably the best Razor Ramon figure ever.
Honestly, I was actually thinking Razor as well because we haven't, there's been several Scott Halls and Razor Ramon toys, but I think he's such a good fit for that line. He's very iconic, I feel like, to the Hasbro line. I think he'd be a really good fit and a good entry to the retro line.
Yeah, but
I think we need one.
But here's the thing. You do that, I'm going to start thinking the Hasbro line and the Hasbro Razor. Unless they give him one without the vest. Because his Hasbro figure only came with the entrance attire. So if they do one in a wrestling attire, I'll accept it.
Yeah, I can see that. I kind of see him doing the Razor's Edge instead of the clothesline that he did the original toy.
Yes, okay. That would make a lot of sense. But since you're thinking of that motion, one figure that they have to fix in the retro line, Ultimate Warrior. That first series stunk, my opinion, because of the guys they had in there, and they had the potential with Warrior. They blew it.
I don't remember what we thought about the Warrior at the time, but looking back, it really is one of the weaker ones in that wave.
They need to rehash Warrior. You could give him the same action feature, but put more detail in the attire and the face paint, because that was just like Jolly Ho Ultimate Warrior. That was
Jolly Ho Ultimate Warrior.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Jolly Ho Ultimate Warrior.
That was like Warrior with no attitude. Warrior with no ultimate in him. That was just a plain old Warrior. So give us a proper Warrior in the retro line. Jeez.
So I got two other retro picks. As Vinny fumes over there about the Warrior. My other two picks, I've got my long shot and my more realistic shot.
Okay.
We already mentioned Jake the Snake. I could see Jake being a part of the retro line also. With the DDT feature. Very easy. I think he could. Will we see him at San Diego? I don't know. But I feel like we will see a Jake this year for some reason. And I don't know. It could be a Jake retro for all we know.
That makes more sense for this year. A Jake retro makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. And my other choice, Jerry the King Lawler as a retro. Because he's the guy that never had a retro, didn't have a Hasbro figure. He should have had a Hasbro figure at some point, I feel like.
But that's because he came a little too late.
That's what I mean. He just missed it. So he's the guy that really would easily fit in with the line. It looked good with the Hasbros, too.
Yes.
I think Jarrett the King Lawler is due for a retro figure. He hasn't had a normal figure either in a while.
Yeah.
So give him a crown.
Give him a
boom,
crown.
You're done.
Yeah.
Crown, pile driver, action, however that would look. I don't know.
However they want to figure that out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I would actually really want to see a Jerry Lawler
Or
figure.
actually, the clothesline would probably be easiest because they probably wouldn't give him the pile driver. They give him the punch because he's known for doing his punches.
The
so give him
diving fist drop.
Yeah, so give him the diving fist drop, and there's your Jerry Lawler retro.
That's not a bad idea. And now I'm trying to think. You're doing a Jerry Lawler retro. We've had so many Bretts. There's only one Bret Hart left.
Yeah.
A retro Bret Hart.
I agree. Bret Hart needs to be part of this line.
He needs to be part of this line. Granted, the Hasbro figure, again, this is also one of my top ones.
Yeah.
I'm actually still looking for his second version.
Good luck.
Thank you. I do want to see a retro Bret Hart. Action feature, I don't know what they will give him.
They probably gave him a clothesline, too. It's called the Heart Attack.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Now you just reminded me of the one retro that I want. Give me a Jim Neidhart in a Hart Foundation attire.
That could be interesting, yeah.
Yes, because we were originally supposed to get that for the Hasbro line, but because the Hart Foundation split, they immediately had to change it to Parachute Pants Jim Neidhart, which was only around for 3 months.
I think we're more likely to get Brett first. If we get Brett, I think then Jim is not long after.
Yes, I hope. I hope if that's the case, if that's how we're going to get Jim Neidhart, so be it.
All right, so we also have now picks for NXT figures this year, NXT Elites, which will be Target exclusives.
Which this one I'll leave to you.
Yeah, I'm the bigger NXT guy here. So I'm thinking number one choice, and because normally they do only like 4 figures per line, so I'm only going to really pick 4 or 5. War Raiders. We'll get the War Raiders because they have, as elites, because they all have their own entrance gear, I think they need to have the elite treatment. I don't think we're going to get the Viking Raiders before then. I think we're going to get the War Raiders first from NXT. I'm also thinking we're going to get Matt Riddle. Barefoot Matt Riddle. Which would be good to have.
Now you make me want to go back to the Legends. I know this one might be a stretch. Why not another Jimmy Snuka? That it might be a stretch considering his current reputation.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
But that Then again, Tamina is still in the WWE,
Yeah.
so there is the possibility still. We never got a proper Jimmy Snuka figure from Mattel.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the last Jimmy was out. For the female figure in this line, I think Kairi Sane will take that spot.
Yes.
With her really cool accessory entrance gear as well. She'll have the hat, she'll have the jacket, maybe the steering wheel. I think she'd be perfect fit for NXT.
Makes sense because she is due for her figure. She is now on the main roster, so
I think this will be her first. It'll be in the NXT line. And lastly, I've listed my 4s, who I think it'll actually be. As my 5th, I think we'll see this as a 3D rendering. And because it's a Bill McKenna guy, Kushida. They're going to rush that one out there.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to rush it to the basic. I think because he's got so many unique parts, it's going to have to be an NXT Elite. So I think if we see it, it'll be a 3D rendering. But that's kind of like my long shot for this event.
Yeah, because I could definitely see that happening because look at how they also treated Nakamura when Nakamura first came in.
They got those out quick.
They rushed him out right away.
So I can see Kushida, at the very least, being announced in some capacity. And now, lastly, our final figures we're going to talk about in our last category, Ultimate Editions. And we're not going to talk about too many because obviously we want everybody, but who we think we're going to see right away. So my number one choice, I think we actually share a choice on this. We both, I think, want the Dead Man.
Yes, the Undertaker. Now wait a minute, which Undertaker era are we thinking?
That's the hard part, is I have no idea. I'm thinking the easiest Ultimate Edition version Undertaker to do is a more modern style, because you could swap out his heads, and you could have different hairstyles for him. You could have the hat, you could have the jacket, you could have a belt if you want to put a belt in there, but mainly you'll have different heads. This way you can have his most recent haircut, you can have the long hair, you could have his short hair. You've got a lot of options if you do a very modern style of Undertaker. I'm thinking if they did it first, it's because they're really more Undertakers, I'm sure, in this line, but not for a while. I'm thinking more modern Undertaker.
But they've been recently releasing more of the modern Takers. I could actually see a return to the old school Undertakers.
So you're thinking like you can swap out different heads for like the red hair and the black hair.
You could kind of, the gloves could definitely be swapped out for the different hands. Because if I'm not mistaken, they come about with 3 sets of hands.
Well, the problem is though, because then you have to have the extra part that supplies forearms, and that's molded onto the arm itself. That's not popped out. That's why Undertaker's a challenge. He has to get the ultimate treatment. That's a guarantee. He will get it now.
Here's the thing. Unless they make, this is a stretch, they make the removable hands, but instead at the joint, it's done with cloth. Which which actually, if you think about it, look at what they did for the Warrior Retro when they Ultimate. My mistake. They gave him the cloth jacket with heavy detail onto it. I would say maybe if they make the hands with cloth on them, that's how you could swap out the different hands.
I'd say maybe the more reasonable choice, and this is probably not possible to really do easily. It's a whole cost thing. Instead of the wrist joint being, you have the wrist joint here still, but the plastic and the removable hands will continue. So you'd have the glove molded plastic to the wrist, so you'd lose articulation. But then you could still pop out that and easily have it that way.
Which actually would not have an issue with that.
I would personally, but it would work.
If you really think about it, it would work.
You'd still have the same rotation, you just wouldn't be able to bend the wrist back and forth.
If you really think about it too, do you really bend the wrist that often? When not really.
No,
so
it's not really a big thing, yeah.
I wouldn't mind losing the wrist articulation if that's how we're gonna get that Undertaker. So
that's a possibility.
There is a possibility.
And my other pick, which is probably different from yours, I think Triple H. I don't know what era Triple H again, but I think there's no way Triple H doesn't get a figure in Ultimate Edition. I feel like he's next in line.
He's next in line. Because you could even use one attire and 3 different heads, like, to cover everything.
Exactly,
so
yeah. Very
I could
easy.
see that happening. Triple H makes a lot of sense.
Anybody else you want?
Now, for me, again, I prefer the old school. We could see a Macho Man Ultimate Edition.
I would like to see a Macho Man Ultimate Edition.
And I could see, instead of giving him all the different body parts, maybe the only other body part I would give would be a second head. One meant for wrestling and one meant for in-ring. Entrance attire.
Yeah.
For the glasses.
With new head sculpts, ideally.
With the new head sculpts, yes. But instead of giving him the different hands and everything, make it the WrestleMania 4 Macho Man. Give him the title, but give him all the robes from that night. Because he had 4 different attires that night.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think about it, the last defining moments Macho Man we got, that attire was actually wrong. that was not from WrestleMania 3, his in-ring attire. It was actually from WrestleMania 4. So give him the orange WrestleMania attire. So therefore you have the complete WrestleMania 4 Macho Man.
It's a lot of robes, though, to include a $35 toy. I don't think we'll get that many. I think we'd get like one, ultimately.
Or two, maybe.
Maybe two.
You might have a good point.
That's tough, because it's a more expensive line.
But let's put it this way. You give them all 4. Scatter all 4
as variants.
Oh,
now you're...
And you go into a chase mode.
Now you're really abusing the fans.
Hey, but listen, Mattel, I wouldn't be shocked if they're coming up with this already,
you
too.
You should work for Mattel. You're ruthless.
And actually, you know what? Speaking of Ultimate figures, if we're going to go with a woman.
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth.
You think? Oh, okay. I don't know if she get the ultimate treatment or not, but I could see why. If she had different dresses, that would make more sense to me than the macho robes, because the robes are bigger, the dresses are smaller. So I could see her with like 1 or 2 dresses.
Yes, that's what I just thought of that right now.
That could work.
Think for a woman, ultimate, and why not?
Even have different heads in there too if you wanted. Her hair is mostly the same.
Her hair was always mainly the same.
But you could you could actually in theory do a WCW style head, where she's a little bit more mature, because the body didn't really change. So in theory, you could just give her some different kind of, like maybe she has.
But then again, I wouldn't want to see WCW Elizabeth.
Well, we got a WCW Ultimate Warrior, so I mean.
But it came from an iconic match.
Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons. Yes. But still iconic.
Nonetheless, that was part of the first wave WCW style Warrior. So could go that way too.
Good point.
Because this is after all the Ultimate Edition.
Good point.
Yeah, could wrap up Miss Elizabeth's toys right there.
There you go. That's actually a really great point. So, but there is one figure that we've all been avoiding because it could cover every single one of them, and I think this is now going to be a big one.
Yeah, this is our big #1 San Diego Comic-Con prediction for 2019, the return of Hulk Hogan to figures.
Yes.
And we have him listed basically across the board, but mainly we want to see him either as a RetroFest, as an Ultimate Edition, or just a retro figure. He'd be great for all those.
Yes, of course, the retro line needs him.
Yes.
Because that is based off of his era of wrestling figures.
But I feel like the most obvious way for him to come back is with an Ultimate Hogan. Ultimate Edition Hogan will be... When Hogan gets a toy again, it will be an Ultimate Edition to start.
Yes, and definitely with all the different head sculpts you could give him, with all the different...
all different shirts, I think, is probably the biggest accessories he'll get.
Different shirts, especially during his WWF run, because he started... We only got the Hulk rules and the regular Hulkamania.
Yeah.
There was the Hulkster rules, which was part of this one.
Yep.
You could give him the bandana. I don't think we've seen a bandana Hogan.
And I think the biggest thing we can get, finally, is a hand to do that.
Yes!
Finally have
hands.
hands.
With the articulation.
Yes.
Now, you mentioned... If we do a Sherry with the Build-A-Figure, I know you're going to kill... See, he knows where I'm going with this, and he wants to kill me because I mentioned...
I'm just going to put Hogan in my ear until you're done talking.
So, if we get a Build-A-Sherry figure, can we please get the full set? If Hogan comes back, can we get the full set of the SummerSlam 89? He wants to kill me, but this is great, because this is good material now. Give us the complete main event of SummerSlam 89. Have Sherry in her silver dress. We're actually due for another beefcake.
Fair enough.
So, why not give us beefcake during the biggest moment, like his biggest peak in his WWF career? Because after this, he was going to be the IC champion, but then life happened, unfortunately. I hate to say it that way.
I'm not saying I hate your idea. I'm just saying I hate your idea.
But listen, think of it this way. We also get the SummerSlam 89 Macho Man in the silver and black tights, which that was an awesome look for him.
That was a great outfit that they'll never make a toy of.
Listen, that's another figure, please. That is one I want to see. But now here comes who I really want to see. Zeus.
And that's why
Give us a Zeus figure. Why not?
Getting the rights to Tony Lister is a whole new can of worms. I mean, Jax did it, but that was different because back then Jax didn't have WWE as encroaching as much as Mattel does.
But at the same time, WWE just released its Coliseum home videos that had that iconic steel cage match.
I will say,
honestly, that was my favorite storyline of all time. Was the Zeus storyline.
I'll say if they did it, it'll be San Diego next year as a 4-pack. And to be
I don't
fair,
care.
that would be that would actually be a really great 4-pack.
I don't care.
I like your idea. I just don't think it's doable. I think it's more long term. I think this will be a toy we talk about next year and
You
probably
know what?
the year after.
We're on camera right now. I'll make a bet with you.
All right.
I'll give you this. Comic-Con. But by next year Comic-Con, we are going to see a Zeus.
All right.
I'll let you name the stipulations. Go ahead. I'm in a generous mood right now.
All right.
So think hard.
There's no Zeus next year. You're drinking a shot of hot sauce.
Oh, come on! I meant figure-related.
You didn't specify the terms.
Oh, damn it.
Never bet against a Sicilian in a figure war.
Whoa, what? You're talking... I'm the Sicilian here. What are you talking about? So a cup of hot sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, God. And what do I win?
Pride.
No, screw that. I don't want Pride. Pride is a dead company now. I'll do one better.
I'll drink a glass of milk.
Fine. You'll drink a glass of milk because there's an inside reason for that.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Exactly.
And you'll drink hot sauce.
A shot, right?
It'll be a shot. I will drink. It'll make it a shot of milk and a shot of hot sauce.
It's official.
I hope you enjoy your hot sauce next year.
I hope nobody watches this video now and forgets all about it.
Not anymore. I'll be promoting this thing like crazy.
Well, I guess that's our wrap-up of predictions for San Diego Comic-Con.
That's right. Now, will any of these come true? Probably not. But we're going to hope for the best. At least some of these will be. I think most of these aren't that far-fetched. A few of them are Zeus. But I think we'll see.
I will love it so much when we get a Zeus. Hell, wait. Now, what happens if Zeus comes out before San Diego Comic-Con? If it gets revealed before next year's
We'll say from now till San Diego next year.
Alright, fine.
Yeah. So this time next year...
Please, Bill McKenna, give me Zeus! Don't kill me!
Please kill him.
Oh,
Please.
God damn it.
So that's our San Diego Comic-Con 2019 wrestling figure predictions. We'll have a checklist on the website so you can see if we're right, if we're wrong, and hopefully we're more right than we are wrong. But hey, we want to hear your thoughts also. So if you've got any predictions of your own, leave them in the comments below, and we'll check back after San Diego and see what was revealed.
We'll find out, yeah.
Yeah. So until then, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Vinny, the wrestling figure historian.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time with some more toy reviews and some hot sauce drinking.
Oh, God. May you... oh, God. May your stomach feel a lot better after the glass of milk.
Can't wait till you drink that hot sauce.
Oh, can't wait till you have that chocolate milk.
Ooh, you can have chocolate hot sauce. Mole. But you're not going to because you're just drinking straight up hot sauce.
Then you're drinking straight up milk.
Fine
Straight
by
from
me.
the cow. Unpasteurized. You never mentioned how the milk was going to be drank.
We're going to hash that off camera. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.